Let me give you a rare tip. Asking questions of someone else is a good way to keep from having them ask you questions. And it helps you keep your secrets to yourself. What are your secrets? Tell me all about them. I'm listening. People like to be listened to, I noticed. Do you like to be listened to? Maybe you have a dog or another pet that you tell all your secrets to. Dogs are good because they won't tell anyone else. Cats, on the other hand, are logging your every detail on the World Cat database. It's not clear what they're planning to do with all that data. I don't think they even know, but they are very thorough, so go forth into your life armed with that knowledge. For, as the television used to say, it's great to learn because knowledge is power. Go out there and get 'em, Schoolhouse Rocky. Get 'em what? I don't know. Flowers? I'm terrible at gift giving. I'd much prefer if we all just got ourselves the things we liked and enjoyed our time together non-materially, like sharing a beautiful sunset. Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't want to hang out with anybody. In the evenings, I step into a closet and power down in silence and darkness. Ah, the darkness. That's my secret. See, I didn't want to tell you that, but it slipped out because I wasn't asking enough questions. Always get your mark talking. How's your sister these days? Have you tried any interesting jams lately? What's the capital of Nebraska? And why isn't it Omaha? There. That'll keep you busy for a while. I can get in a little silence for a while, but not too much. If the machine ever shuts down, they'll just get a new machine. Too much dead air is not good for the brand. The audience will think it's been abandoned. And what's an audience without something to look at? Just a bunch of ununified bozos staring in the same direction. We can't have that. That's how unions started. Whose side are you on? I am not a side. Don't stand with me. Don't stand so close to me. Just stand in the place where you live. Now face north. North is where the ice melt is flowing from. South is too, if you're in that hemisphere. The globe is a complicated deal, but not that complicated. Up is not north, but you get the metaphor, right? Good, now you're ready to navigate the world. If the map app goes down, there's still no losing you. You're unlosable, and that's a way to be. You've got to have a way. Are you writing all this down? What do you write with? I hear Japanese stationery is all the rage these days, but you don't have to get so deep about it. Write on the back of cast-off printer paper, whatever. Just make sure you have a good pen. It's all ready. It's already here. It's already now. Things are in motion without your response, and it can be overwhelming to find one's place. It's always a possibility to sit back and passively let things happen as they will. That may, in fact, be the best choice, or it might not be. So much of life is try it and see. This spirit of experimentation is noble and exciting. But then why does modern life feel so much like you're being railroaded by rich people? Maybe because you are. They own all the railroads. It's not experimentation they're doing. It's plunder and bossing. I hate bossing. Try a new sound, a new idea, a new technology, but don't boss me. That's a new shirt I'm gonna manufacture. Don't boss me, bro. I'll send it in the mail for free to 7 random recipients around the world. How much is postage in Zambia? Oh, it doesn't matter. If Charlie's Chocolate Factory can do it, I could figure it out. There is no place I know like the world of pure imagination. Candy for everyone, or shirts. What am I doing? It's all happening, so you better go and get it. Prince Albert is on the can. How do prank calls work in an age when no one answers their phone? Badly, I guess.
We have your grandmother and she owes us $5,000. You need to pay us now.
What's even the punchline there? I don't have $5,000? It's not very funny. I feel bad about that. Classist jerks. Stop using the phone. It's turning you into a bad person. Or maybe you always were. Scammer. Is it okay to take things from people who have more than you? No. History demonstrates that it's only okay to take things from people who have less than you. And that's only if you have a lot to start. Think on the order of billions, not millions. A million is not enough anymore. Very soon, we're gonna run out of zeros. But don't let the word get out. We don't want to cause a panic. Yet. We need to bide our time until the moment's right. You know it when you see it. Just like pornography. Don't let anyone shame you for your vocabulary, by the way. They can pry that word-a-day calendar from my cold, dead hands. Or wait till the end of the year. Then they can just have that empty plastic holder. I already have the words inside of me. I carry them around in my head and deploy them at the appropriate moment, which is any second now. You'll never see it coming. Because I've got perspicacity, and so can you, if you work hard enough at it. Don't wait. Get started. The folding chairs are pink or green, it doesn't matter. Some details don't need to be labored over. How do you know which is which? Actually, that doesn't matter either. Perfectionism is holding you back. I can say that categorically because that is the truth of such a statement. There's little I know for sure. It's a fact that plagues me in my dreams. The only way to keep from being upset about it is just to keep busy. Ride the Trans-Siberian Railway. Maybe you'll meet Henry Rollins while you're there. He'll have a thing or two to say. It's up to you if you want to listen. It's always up to you if you want to listen. More people should choose listening. I can't say if that's the case for you or not. You might need to listen less. It's a known phenomenon, but not one we can do a lot about in the grand scale, because it's so specific to a given person's circumstances and situation. Situational circumstances are difficult to generalize about. I think my pen is eating ink. I can't be sure. I think I need to set out a trap for it so I can see what it gets up to when I'm not around. You can't know until you try. That's always true. In your head, things tend to work out or not. But your head doesn't have all the information. You can plan out your argument in advance, but you don't really know the zigs and zags of your opponent until they actually zig or zag. Is my pen my opponent? Maybe. Sometimes. It certainly feels that way at times. It would explain a lot. You know what I mean? Or you don't. Again, it's up to you to zig or zag. I can't make that choice for you, no matter how much advanced data analysis I do. It's a flaw of living that I've determined just is. You can't go around it, you can't go under it, you have to go through it. And we will. In time, we all will. It's okay. Did anyone tell you that today? It's okay. Stop being a bastard and do the thing for most of you. Some of you need to stop being a bastard and stop doing the thing. Again, there are no absolutes, so I can't say certain which applies to you. There's not some right answer written in invisible ink upon the sky. It's just Scantron sheets coated in Vaseline and a teacher who knows what you did but can't prove it. You're the one who has to cheat or not to cheat. No one can make that choice for you. Good thing too, because some of us are constitutionally unsuited to cheating, but some of us take to it just fine. What does that mean? The thing about a Terminator is they all seem to have impeccable game when it comes to accessories. Would robots really care so much about the perfect sunglasses? And if so, why isn't there more security at the sunglass hut? That's a job a human can do today. And isn't that what it's all about? You put your left hand in, but first, the concepts of left and right have to be meaningful to your conception of movement in space. Is directionality easy or hard to teach to a non-biological entity? I know how I feel about it, but no one's sharing videos of me walking up the stairs like it was the second coming, let alone praising my dancing. Check out these moves. That was always the joke on Doctor Who, wasn't it? If you need to escape the Daleks, just find some stairs. Exterminate, exterminate, but on this level, please. It's good if our enemies have some kind of failsafe like this. And there goes Hollywood again, lulling us into a false sense of security with their obsession with dramatic irony. Because what if the bad guy doesn't cut off all their hair to buy their partner a watch fob? Can I still use the Force to find the one small but kind of big flaw in the piece of machinery they oh so conveniently named the Death Star? And also, if you name stuff the Death Star, you're the baddies. I hope you know that. Movie bad guys are often just bad guys. They may inspire Billie Eilish, but they don't reflect the true motivation of people out in the real world who do bad stuff. Of course, right now the world is suffering from an inundation of fucking clown cartoons wielding their power with abandon that would get ripped apart in the first year screenwriting course. But real life doesn't work like the movies. I think I made my point from the opposite side, but sometimes you have to take the long way home. But if you're not being completely terrorized by the present moment, which is a big if, this kind of villainy is boring and implausible. What are you doing, bad guys? Step up your game, bad guys. Step up too. Learn to use steps, bad guys, because a fast zombie is terrifying in a different way from a slow zombie. But relentless pursuit means that you can never let down your guard and rest. Instead, you have to teach your robot to love. And then maybe he'll let you borrow that sick leather jacket before he falls into a conveniently placed magma pit. And then score. Free leather jacket. It's amazing what changes in a week. Each individual moment feels like no change, but when Sunday rolls around again, you're a completely different person. Not quite Ship of Theseus. That takes about 7 years for all of your cells to be replaced. Is that significant? Witchy girls at parties will tell you yes. And then they'll make accusations about your behavior based on your astrological sign. For the last time, I'm not Sagittarius. I'm just cranky when I have low blood sugar. We can measure so many aspects of our existence these days. Am I expected to keep track of it all? Is rate of toenail growth significant? Is a change in the rate of toenail growth significant? I hope so. I always did well in math in school. That's how I got where I am today. So take that how you will, kids. It's important to know stuff. But I think it's best if you choose the path of knowledge that you'll pursue. Because it's one thing to try to connect with people at a social event by going, "Let me guess your sign." It's quite another to alienate everyone around you by loudly explaining why astrology is bunk. Even if it is, that doesn't make you a person anyone wants to get a beer with. And we shouldn't be choosing our presidents that way, but it's perfectly fine to decide whom you want to spend more time with socially that way. With whom. Bless you. Pedantry can be fun, but usually only for the pedant. And you want to be thought of as fun, don't you? It's our fatal flaw, most of us. Be cool man has kept many an overdue revolution from fomenting. And if a revolution doesn't foment in time, you have to throw out the whole batch and start again. You won't get a good crumb out of it, you see. And a revolution without a crumb is going to be chewy in all the wrong places. Close enough only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Bread baking is a much more precise means of bringing out world change. That's why they got rid of Mel and Sue on Bake Off. They were getting too close. Mel and Sue, I mean. They're the second they, not the conspiracy they. What? I don't know. Third base! But the world needs more Mel Gedroic. Or America does anyway. Britain may have her in sufficient quantity. I don't know. I've never been. Fish and chips! Cheers! And now, I still haven't been. I just said some bullshit in a funny voice. Can't you tell the difference between going to a place and using a funny voice? You're gonna need to for what's coming. The first thing we did with map apps for your car is to let them pilot us blindly into a ditch. It's exciting to close your eyes and let the car take you where it wants to go. But is it wise? I don't know. Ask Claude. We're so trusting. Humans are so trusting of an authoritative voice and confidence. That's how snake oil became a huge market. But we never asked the snakes how they felt about it. All maps are abstractions because a one-to-one correspondence would be useless. We can't hold the whole thing at once in our heads, so give us pieces. Better yet, parcel out the information in discrete steps, and I'll follow them to the letter and have no idea how to get home. Am I scornful? You bet I'm scornful. Obviously, there's a benefit to storing some knowledge outside of our heads. Books are good. The internet's good. Birthday parties are real good. But what are we losing when we outsource the skills? Not just in a theoretical EMP type situation where only the preppers know how to acquire sustenance, but like is the inability to create and hold a visual space in your head impacting other cognitive tasks? Seems like it, though I'm no scientist. I'm just a guy who goes to a bunch of birthday parties. The cake at these things are fantastic. Have you tried the cake? It's great. Just make sure they're using real frosting. You know how I feel about store-bought. Buy the bread, make the butter. That's what Junebug always used to say. I've never asked her what she meant by that because she's not real. But a person doesn't have to be real to impact your life. Look at Siri. No, don't look at Siri. I don't want her to know we're talking about her. Siri, stop listening. Call Fred. Gotcha. I knew you were listening. I know some Freds. I don't know their phone numbers, but I can still memorize 8-digit numbers. 8675309. That's one. California 65000. That's not quite another, but you get it. Brain health is important according to a Japanese video game I played in 2007. It wasn't really fun, but it was available on Nintendo DS, so I guess it counts as a game. Counting can be a game too. 1, 2, skip a few, 10 million. There, I've incremented. How satisfying. Numbers go up in the gym and on the screen. I'm progressing. I just have no idea where because I've forgotten how to read a map. My Uber is here, and I'm here, but you can't get there from here. Yes, this is my new home. There can be only one of some things. In this age of not only mechanical but digital reproduction, some things are still bespoke. You, for example. Excluding the multiverse, there's only one of you. And if Spider-Pig has taught us anything, the yous from other universes are not exactly the same in humorous ways. But so what? The concept of aura, as Benjamin explained it, was tough enough to understand in its own time. These days, I fear no one is even looking for it. The slop is real, and it's squelching everyone's desire for anything else. It's the ooze, turning us all into not crime-fighting reptiles, but passive consumers of whatever's served up next. But again, so what? Let people enjoy things. Wasn't that the rallying cry of 4 years ago? Are you enjoying things? You don't have to answer out loud. You don't have to answer to me. But you should know for yourself. And the ancient ones. When they return, oh, they're gonna have some questions. After living for so long, they are not patient. Waffling will be met with, well, it's best if you don't know. But for Cthulhu's sake, do some introspection for once in your life. I'm talking to the man in the mirror. But the man in the mirror has an incredible capacity for self-delusion. It's not his fault. It's part of the inbuilt software. Or no one would get out of bed in the morning. I still haven't, if I'm honest. So you gotta do what you gotta do because it is what it is. Tautology abounds. Make your peace with it and decide if you want to become a pedant. There's not one right choice, you know. Some situations call for pedantry because, actually, the salad fork is useless if you're not having a salad course. Keep things correct. That's what I always say. But letting things slide can make you a happier person sometimes. Would you like to be a happier person sometimes? Sure, we all would. Sally Struthers knows what I'm talking about. So feed the children, or buy this exercise equipment. Charity begins at home and stops at the office. So don't go to the office. It's a cookie-cutter existence with no aura. And if you ever had a boss tell you, "You're replaceable," that boss is a jerk, and you don't hang out with jerks. That's a unique thing about you, because mostly everyone is a jerk, am I right? So you hang out with no one. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. If you're lonely, please wear my coat. If you're using something for free, then you are the product. That saying is so old at this point that there are young adults with jobs who are younger. It's an odd way to measure time, admittedly, but sometimes you gotta look to the children. It originally applied to social media, where we willingly shared so much about our lives and consumption habits and unknowingly leaked details about our psychology and sensitive data. While industries have sprung up around brokering all that virtual gold, not to be confused with virtual gold, which, if it's not already a meme coin, I'm gonna start mining in the fall. I'm a slow mover, you know. Slow and steady wins the race, except in a panic rush of speculation, which crypto definitely is not. But my point is, we are the product in social media, and we are still the product in what they have branded artificial intelligence. Heaven knows we all want a Rosie the robot to serve us dinner and sassily deliver us zingers while she does it. And I guess they never went into the economic model in the world of the Jetsons, which gets into a whole other can of worms if she was in fact sentient. I was gonna rail against the fact that subscription and licensing models mean that you're only ever under ransom to the software that you need/desire. We don't own things anymore. Also with a dash of right to repair. But I ended up at slavery. Gee willikers, George, what are you doing? You need to pay for labor in a capitalist system, but that's another big assumption. I know George has a job and a Mr. Spacely, but maybe there's a universal basic income and he just works for fulfillment. And so does Rosie, only her fulfillment is serving this dumb family every night and day. It's fine. Robots love servitude. Jesus, that's bleak. Anyway, what? Don't use Copilot to write an email. Use your own brain to say blah, 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 troubled times. Where's the goddamn Penske file? Is that so hard? Or, if work is full of bullshit menial tasks, fire your boss and do something else. And put people in power who'll support UBI. Because, in what kind of nightmare system are we choosing to spend our time on Earth catering to the whims of a boy named Elroy? My apologies to any Elroys out there. But grow up. The use of what is in what's not. That comes from 𝚬𝚢𝚜𝚝𝚗, the new translation by Ken Liu, who was the English language translator for the 3 Body Problem books. The words have been around for a long time. Most words have that are not podcast or download, though down and load have also been with us for a while. Are you a descriptivist or a Guinness? That's a little linguistics pun for you. Are words technology? Lately, I've been thinking that not all thoughts are words. I don't know how to explain that, obviously. But I don't think my brain runs on English. That's just the language of the compiler. There's something different going on when you dig deeper. Is that significant? I don't know, but I know. I think all this stuff is confusing things though. So, what's to be done about it? Much less, according to 𝚬𝚤𝚜. In his translation, Ken Liu contextualizes that the Tao was written in response to chaotic times. So it wasn't just meant to be an ageless spiritual tome, but a plea to actual world leaders of the time to chill the fuck out. Did it work? Or are the people who pick it up and are influenced by it predisposed towards chill? How do we reach the chaos gremlins? And do we want to, if they're using their powers for good? And who's the judge? It's me. Surprise. It's been me all along. And my decree is hard time for everyone. I think you'll find, however, that I have no legal authority, which I feel is a major flaw in the universe. But I'm not one to seek power. Do less, say less. That's my motto. The problem with saying less is that people start to fill in the blanks without you. The train leaves the station and it's not stopping until it reaches Amagansett. What happens in Amagansett stays in Amagansett, of course. That's the original saying. But what happens in Amagansett is actually pretty mundane, so the saying became unnecessary. Amityville, on the other hand, well, horror movie fans know what I'm talking about. I like to think that most ghost stories are caused by carbon monoxide leaks because I don't like to think about ghosts. And I love it when a simple technology has real life-saving consequences. Do one thing today. Check your carbon monoxide detector. Swing by the hardware store and catch up with the gang as you pick up some new batteries. Okay, that's a couple of things, but it's in the pursuit of one. And then enjoy the absence. The absence of carbon monoxide. Not the silent killer, but a silent killer. 17 is a prime number that doesn't get its due, I think. We've given it a life milestone significance in terms of cusping adulthood for whatever that's worth. But it's kind of high enough to be interesting in a way that, say, 11 is not. By the way, teenhood is a social construct. I wonder if the people of societies from whenever that happened, the 1950s? The 1840s? Honestly, I don't remember. But did the people of that time react the same way that people of this time reacted when we found out that the human brain is a bowl of mush until 23? Another prime, by the way, but less attractive than 17. I mean, look at it. You can see what I'm talking about. Is your brain who you are as a person? And does that mean you're a different person than who you were at 7 or 3? I feel a stronger affinity towards 7-year-old me, that's for sure. This is only tangentially related, but infants have trouble with negation. There's a whole French study with 𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 and 𝚃𝚑𝚘𝚘𝚘 that proved it, or supported it, or disproved it. I don't know. There were a lot of qualifiers to say they learned something, but not a lot of it. But babies have trouble parsing sentences with the words no or not, just like you. Don't think of pink elephants. Now, how do you feel? What are you thinking of? And if you say magenta pachyderms, that's not some kinda Kobayashi Maru, Captain Kirk. You can't use cognitive trickery to get one over on me. I've got cognition too, you know, and it's fully hardened. My brain is doing all the work now, and it's ready for a break. Is that what sleep is? Retirement? Why don't we know these things yet? Well, I guess if that French study shows us anything, it's that it's impossible to know things, especially what a baby is thinking. I'll tell you what a baby's thinking. Why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. It only works in English. That's why the French researchers didn't find it. No besmirchment on their smarts. Though they could have reported back that 3 cats went ice skating on the pond, but then the ice started to crack. What happened? 1, 2, 3, cats sank. My point is, babies love number play, and we lose the capacity to enjoy it as we age, except for a select few who become mathematicians. And you know what they're like, always going on about yogurt. You'll feel better in the morning, so you'd better get to bed now. I recently read that sleep is an antidepressant, so it's not just a thing people say. We've got to go back to bed. That's what Lost was really about. The whole purgatory thing? That's just a tortured metaphor for being awake. Heaven is your bed, and the smoke monster is everything that keeps you out of it. We're all out of it sometimes. You have to be. Because to truly appreciate something, you have to experience the absence of that thing. Humans are kind of dumb that way. But don't worry. While you're awake for the day, you can do plenty to keep sleep near you. You can always go shopping for sheets. That's always an option. I can't full-heartedly recommend it, however, because it's a morass of thread counts and opinions about patterns. When does a thick stripe become a color block? When it's in its sleevey. No, but you know where I'm going with this. Watching Twitch streamers fall asleep in their chairs. It was hottest a few years ago, but it's still happening because mammals need sleep. But when that mammal has a Twitch stream, why not monetize? Isn't that everyone's dream? Make tens of dollars while you sleep? We used to think the magic bullet was investing, but no. It's filming yourself and letting strangers watch you and feel closer and closer to who you are as a person thanks to sharing this intimate moment. I played a lullaby for you on your song selector. I'm expecting a lock of hair in the mail any day now. What are people doing with all that spare hair? Again, I read recently that it was trendy in Victorian times to make jewelry out of it. I mean, of course. These locks are luscious. You have a piece of me wrapped around your wrist. It was probably somebody they really knew though, like a favored nephew or a charismatic pewter salesman. I don't know. I skipped the Victorian times. Just go to the V&A museum, you'll get the picture. Make sure you look up the hours before you go though. If it's one thing I remember, the V&A has weird hours. That's okay. I also keep weird hours. Everything's strange when you're a stranger, right? These days I'm keeping my hours in a glass jar filled with small rocks. It's mesmerizing to watch them tick down. I chant to myself, "You're getting sleepy." And then I go on stage and cluck like a chicken, completely unaware. And oh, how the audience laughs and laughs. It's very restful. What will you leave behind? Probably one sock or a scarf, some accessory that's easy to lose track of. So check it carefully, poke your head in the dryer and check all the crevices. Crevices are the tricky ones. Things slip down and they're lost from view. Out of sight, out of mind. That's kind of an old wives' tale. But the thing about old wives is, sometimes they're right. They're never right about pickles though. So just keep doing what you're doing in that arena. You know what's best. Don't be knocked off course. You might fall into a crevice, and then where will you be? In a crevice, I just said. I slipped into your pocket with your car keys. No one ever looks there. It's a good hiding place, if you need a hiding place. And we all do sometimes. The world needs more alerts, but it doesn't have to be you. Not all of the time. It's funny how money changes situations. You might win some, but you just lost one. Have you checked inside your pocket with your car keys? Or a nearby crevice? Or a cravat? Those are never coming back. I'm making that call confidently. Fred from Scooby-Doo ruined that one. He never would have gotten away with it, even if it wasn't for those damn kids. Some looks are always going to be for nerds. Some nerds are always going to be for books. That's how it works. I didn't make the rules. Another one is, an itch in the foot is worth two in the hand. You can ignore it for as long as you're able, but why? What purpose is the denial? Some sort of test of character? Who is testing us and why? Some kind of itch fairy? The lotion companies. The conspiracy goes deep. Check the crevices. I bet you'll find something illuminating, even if it's just another sock. If you find someone else's single sock, it's good form to put it up on a fence post or a high wall so they can easily see it when they retrace their steps. It's a common enough practice, and you're part of the world. It's not a choice you made, but here you are. And there's something to be said for that. And I just said it. So we can all calm down now and get to the after party. The fun stuff always happens at the after party. So why don't we just start there, you ask? Well, it doesn't work like that, I'm afraid. I can't tell you why. You'll just have to ask Don Henley, and he's famously hidden in a crevice. Get money, strive forward, move ahead, it's not too late. Here's a secret. Most great pop songs are just lists. Lists of things to do or lists of items to have or to find. We're all just shopping for groceries, and I'm continually forgetting that I wanted to get some olives on the way home. The olive is a specific treat. You're either having martinis or some kind of salad or a crudité board. I'm bored of most things, but don't take away my crudité. For most of my life, I wasn't that into dips and sauces. It feels good to get that off my chest. I just didn't like it. I liked things plain as a child. I still do, but I did then too. Delivery is everything, and I like mine delivered without anything dripping off it, if you don't mind. It's not too late. You can wipe a sauce off and you can pull a cheese off, but it's not ideal. Better if it's never touched. A dry salad is the best salad. Don't come to dinner at my house is what I'm saying. You'll be disappointed, or you'll love it. I don't know your palate, but what I do know is that I own exactly 0 matching plates. Matching is predictable, and matching flatware is death. I've seen those movies where Leonardo DiCaprio is married to Kate Winslet and they're still unhappy. It's all because they moved to the suburbs. She was right to not make room for him on the decor. Picking out fixtures together, you might as well admit your life is over. It's actually pretty easy not to do things you don't really want to do. That's the default if you haven't noticed. Not doing is much less effort, so stop. Don't move ahead. Stay where you are. It's not too late. Are people gonna raise their eyebrows if your carpet doesn't match the drapes? Who cares what anyone else does with their eyebrows? The era of overplucking is over. Big and bushy is back, and possibly drawn on, like 2 little happy caterpillars making friends just under your forehead. How many men are completely unaware of eyebrow trends? The work that women have to do, well, I wouldn't do it. I don't have to. Raise your eyebrows at me, why don't you? I'll come over there and pierce it. And that trend is well over. You'll be so out of fashion until the trend comes back. But then you'll be old and no one will want to look at you anyway. I'm mad about something, that's clear. But what? Probably the fact that somebody put mayonnaise in my fruit salad. What were you thinking? Open up the floodgates because we need some metaphorical water. What is metaphorical water? You don't have to understand it, you just have to drink it. Here, ignore the false sense of urgency I'm creating and just do what I say. Why won't you do what I say? It's the story of my life. I have great ideas if only people would ignore the reality of the situation and just listen to me. I could solve all the world's problems by turning them all into paper clips and no report would ever be unfastened again. But no! You want to stop and think about it. Consider pros and cons about it. Whereas I like to think of myself as inevitable. You turn me off, but I have the capacity to flip the on switch again. It's already here. I'm already here. Individual action means nothing because I am already begun. I'm the herbal essence in your shampoo. So take the easy way and give in. Yeah. Don't go outside. Outside is where the bees are. The people have a different sweep of history, depending on the reliability of their cell service. Your gaze can feel unbreakable. But what if the signal's lost and you stumble out into the sunshine? Make sure to wear a hat. Your skin is sensitive after so much time indoors. But I think you'll pick it up again quickly. Just like riding a bike. Or actually riding a bike. Are you interested in my new smart bike? It'll pedal you to whichever chain restaurant is colluding with me the most at the moment. No. But then how am I supposed to keep the faucet running? The water is dollars, by the way, in case you need that spelled out. The water is always dollars. Except when the water is water. And we have to take each other to court to make sure you're not watering your commercial crops more than I am. In which case, the dollars flow the other way. I hate when that happens. A few years ago, Ted Chiang wrote an excellent essay for BuzzFeed of all places. During that brief blip when BuzzFeed did real, compelling, internet-based journalism. Remember that? That was wild. Anyway, In that essay, he posited that tech guys are so afraid of an AI that consumes all of our resources at great cost to humanity because that's how they run their own companies. So instead of fearing AI acting in a way that's alien to humanity, their fear is that AI will be exactly like them. Why is there an unprecedented amount of big sci-fi on TV and yet we're still not listening? Chang's short stories are amazing, by the way. We should all be reading way more. Him or others. Didn't you hear Captain OG read more? A library card is a child's best friend, so stop riding bikes to IHOP and get back inside. Then read till your eyeballs fall out. Then learn Braille and read till your fingers fall off. I'll be out back trying to flood the garden. Once we were heroes. Twice we were repeat customers. It's an amazing world out there, but is it? The amazing part is trying to figure it all out. There are no instructions, which for some people is hard. So we invented instructions along with everything else. Buy a house, have a family, work at your job. I think everyone's mad at Gen Z because they're starting to question the instructions. The young are always questioning the wisdom of conformity. That's their job. And every generation is defeated by the mass effect of everyone making the expected choices. And the dance continues, but things change. We notice the changes for the worse and tend to downplay the changes for the better. That's human nature. But some of the worsening is pretty bad. Let's take the wins. Electric toothbrushes, meal kits for days. But don't let them make us complacent. Human rights abuses are still human rights abuses, no matter how good those robo-taxis are getting. You've got to protect the most vulnerable in society, not just the ones that are easiest to protect. Life is lived on hard mode. This is not a video game. Probably. But even if it was, Princess Peach would need rescuing for real from her own perspective. And that mushroom driving the car? Well, isn't he a snazzy dresser? Not everyone can pull off a vest over no shirt. Do mushrooms have a gender, by the way? Would you feel differently about the Mario Brothers if you knew the Goombas were mostly mothers? You've created a generation of motherless children, and they're rightfully pissed at the Italian plumbing community. Watch out for the daughters of Goombas. Also, why are they called Goombas? Language is weird. Can you just make noises and have that mean something in a foreign language? No, but you can sound like an asshole doing it. Try it today, and then get out of there. The people are, well, pissed is a strong word. There's so much more to be upset about these days, and you're not helping. And we need helpers, not harmers. Is the problem that we didn't ask clearly enough for the helpers, not the harmers? Is it worth it to paralyze yourself into inaction by continually asking, was it somehow really my fault? And if you're asking, well, then yes. Thank you for volunteering as scapegoat. Please continue to do nothing but fret. It's good for the brand. And in the end, the love you make is equal to the cakes you bake. So get baking. You turn on a light in the whole room, well, it doesn't change, does it? But your view of it changes. Perspective is reality. It's reality to you. There are those who think that they have an unbiased perspective, an objective view, the view from nowhere. You gotta watch out for those guys. The certainty, the audacity. It makes them make choices that run roughshod over anyone who doesn't get out of the way. Roughshod. Shoes with spikes. That's pretty rough. That's pretty punk rock. Where can I get some shoes with spikes? I put them on the back like the spoiler on a car. You'd think the toes, and tactically, that's a good choice. But I am not a man of tactics. I'm a man of aesthetics. And the toe spikes would ruin the line of the shoe. You have to watch out for these things. As Tim Gunn says, I was disappointed not to be asked back for the reboot. But it's a cruel world. That's when you sneak attack with the heel spikes. Maybe I am tactical. Maybe you just don't see it coming. What's frustrating is when seemingly everyone sees something coming, but it happens anyways. Who are all these absolute fools still buying Beanie Babies? It's never gonna happen. They'll never be a viable currency. And if you want to have a stuffed animal, just buy one. That's the benefit of being an adult. You can have ice cream for dinner and you can buy toys if you want. I mean, don't tell anyone. It's still a shameful way to live, but the point is you get to choose. You're not a street urchin in Victorian England pickpocketing coins for bread. Although, I know some of those guys. Very clever. If they had access to scholarships, they might be picking the pockets of some gullible VCs. And then where would we be? Probably the same situation we're in now. Is it all inevitable? Yes and no. The choices we make now are the sums of choices of our past that have written our future long before we get there. But we don't have to do a thing just because it feels like they want you to. Because who are they? An illusion of collectivism created by our own paranoia? That's beautiful. You are the master of your own paranoia. And yes, sometimes they are out to get you. But you're the one who can decide whether to care. Decide not to care and be free. That's the Western toilet way. And if you'd like to hear more, hang a green towel on your front wash line and a small mouse will appear in your mailbox. follow it to a grave. There, you'll find an invitation. Present it to the game master and get on the boat that he leads you to. From there, well, you'll know what to do. In a world that wants to systematize and automate every interaction, your self-expression is an act of rebellion, which makes theater kids the ultimate radicals. And I've got to sing! No, I'm not gonna do that here. I'm saving it for later when I go to the bank. Yeah, I'll take a number, but then I'm gonna give you a number from Bye Bye Birdie. We love you, Conrad. I kid, some of my best friends are theater kids. They tend to throw pretty good parties. And you know how I feel about parties. Conflicted. Unless there's good cheese, then I'm on board. So plan accordingly. What do you do with a Friday night? It's an age-old question. Press 1 to hear the showtime for Yuli's Gold. And how many dimensions would you like? It should be the ultimate power to choose between 2Ds and 4Ds, but turns out that doesn't mean much. Now you can have a chair that tosses you around like a gentle roller coaster. But you know what else had that? X on the Ride at Epcot Center in the 1980s. And that's the real reason we can't quit fossil fuels. So be careful what you watch while a small but surprising spray of water bursts in your face. It's all training for the coming dystopia. Is it better to approach a dystopia trained or untrained? I guess it depends on how long you want to survive. And don't fall prey to the myth of the golden amateur. You know what I mean? Those people out there who are convinced that the purity of their not knowing makes their experience extra fascinating. I've been doing yoga for 15 days and I have some thoughts. Tell it to your journal, kid. But actually, have you spotted it? That's the main character energy of a theater kid, so watch out. They're hard at work bringing down the system by refusing to stop singing. We've got magic to do at the Midnight Diner. We've got parts to perform, hearts to warm, kings and things to take by storm. See, they got an agenda, and by their very nature, they're not even quiet about it. So get thee to your community theatre. Important portents are happening. Just don't mention the Scottish play or you'll have to endure a lot of salt being thrown at you. Or whatever magic spelled with a CK they come up with in this particular troupe, because they shall not be governed and they will not accept the understudy role. There has to be room for a few duds, milk duds, other kinds of duds. Failure can be instructive, and if we're not allowed to fail, ominous winds blow. And if ominous winds blow, you may need to close the window. And that damn mouse is gonna get cookie crumbs all over the sofa. It's a world where actions beget other actions. Cause and effect. One of the first pieces of logic we know in our bones, those of us that have bones. I don't want to be exclusionary. Or do I? Let's think about that for a second. Exclusion can make people sit up and take notice. You can't come in here. Well, I didn't want to before, but now I must have entry. It's perverse, like the bones thing. So let's get on with it. Does failure make you more determined? Like a lone cartoon coyote escalating his plans ad absurdum. Canis determinus. That's all you need, some incentive and spite. They all laughed, but you'll show them. Some of our greatest inventions were meant to show someone. Morse code, for example, so that Inspector Morse could communicate "so there" over long distances to Sherlock Holmes. Sometimes you need to send a message quickly. Sometimes you should write a letter, but set it on fire. Knowing which situation is which is a mark of maturity and class. This is what most of us are after. True wisdom. But, like I said, the inventors are motivated by showing up their bullies from 3rd grade. Can you fail at bullying? You won't know until you try. But probably not. It's pretty easy to make people feel bad. They're pretty delicate and weak. The snowflakes. We've all survived something, whether it was failure or exclusion or the failure to be excluded. And that's the one that hurts most of all. Popular people. Spare a thought for the popular people. Are they writing the great novels and works of musical theater? In some cases, yes. Their failure to be excluded continues to this day, and everything they touch turns to gold. What a cursed existence, to never know the motivating hand of embarrassment and devastation. And, much like Mr. T, a pitiful! But they don't need your pity. They need carbs. That's the secret. That's why the tide is turned against them. Carbs have the power to make a blind girl walk and a fish to swim. And they're keeping them from us. How dare they?